Hey everyone, I hope you've had a great day so far and that you're doing well. For this video, we'll be continuing through our combination unboxing, time lapse and review of a third blind box from the collection of 6 from the Shining version collection, 01 Shining Rollout from Blokees. So past few weeks we've looked at the Jazz and Acid Storm Shining version releases. In fact, here they are, Jazz and Acid Storm. So this week we're opening a third box to see who is inside. So won't spend too long on this. So box is pretty much exactly the same. So there's just a nice shot of Optimus on the front. Each of the potential 7 kits that you could find in one of these. Well, yeah, 6 characters, although Megatron will be a variant, back of the box, the other side of the box. So obviously nothing too much. These blind boxes are pretty much meant to be pretty much copied over through and through. So that was the box. Time to basically find out who is inside. So in terms of what was inside, so before we get to finding out who is inside, there's these 2 bags. This one will be the base plate and some runners with the manipulators and joints, and then the main bag will have the actual components of the actual model. The other 2 items, the manual and the little manual for the light unit, which I keep saying haven't had to use thus far and hope to, well, I'll probably need to use it eventually, I guess. The manual is pretty much generic, so it'll go through an example of building Optimus, but we'll have the steps for the other, well, some of the other additions, so Cliffjumper, Ratchet, and on the back, Jazz, Megatron, and Acid Storm. So it hasn't been too difficult to follow thus far, but yeah, it's always been a little bit interesting, given that each of the builds have their own little unique level of, I don't want to say customization, it's not so much customization, but unique build elements. Anyway, who is inside? So given that as a yellow base, it will be an Autobot. So we have black joints and black manipulators. That's pretty much it. Don't eat the little included bag of stuff. Now, it definitely won't be Ratchet, so it's either Optimus or Cliffjumper. Yes, Cliffjumper does have black components, so still don't even know who it is because I haven't even seen inside. Looks like it is going to be Cliffjumper. Make sure everything is out of the bag. And yes, today will be Cliffjumper. So definitely not bad. Now, these blind boxes are pretty much designed to give you a guaranteed character without too much duplication. So obviously I'm not too worried about encountering Jazz or Acid Storm again. So now with everything out of the bags, I will just quickly snip off these items off the runners and put the joints together. Not during the time lapse because they can be a little bit fiddly, and then the time lapse will just go through putting Cliffjumper together. Okay, and with the time lapse now finished, we have a completed Cliffjumper. It definitely wasn't too difficult to put together. I will admit, putting the joints together outside of the time lapse did help, and funnily enough, they weren't too difficult to do. So with everything done, so we've already had a quick look at this little Cliffjumper token. So it's always nice to see. There is a QR code, I believe probably to the Blokees site or Blokees Facebook page. So there is that. Always nice to see. So we've got a collection of those. The manual, which we've already looked at and don't need to look at anymore. So what else was included? We do have these little insignia pieces for the Autobots, Decepticons, which to this day I still don't know what to do with them. There's a little extra little light pipe, which in this case I had to use for joints. We have the open manipulator pair, a little token energon cube, the base, and a Cliffjumper. So if I just put Cliffjumper on his base ever so quickly in the correct orientation. Okay, so Cliffjumper on his base. Looking pretty cool for a little guy. I will admit, because of the size of his weapon, and this is a token back to the G1 cartoon in one of the initial episodes where I believe Cliffjumper was trying to assassinate Megatron. Yes, it is a little bit cumbersome compared to some of the other figures thus far, so you do have to offset that, but that's okay. So that's Cliffjumper on his base. So if we take him off his base for the time being, so there's the actual weapon. As I said, it is a little cumbersome, so you will have to offset it on the arm, or I guess you could actually use the other open hand and just hold it somewhat like this, obviously with the correct hand. That's very cool. It does make me wonder, because it's got the tripod mounting, if Cliffjumper could actually lay down and use it. Given that he has no ab crunch, it's probably a bit more difficult, but just do that. So that's pretty much the very large included weapon, which is, with the effect, is basically as tall as he is. So I'm just going to put that to the side for the time being. Now as for Cliffjumper, so with nothing attached and just with the closed hands in there, front, side, the back, the other side, and the front again. Just can we get a bit of a close-up on his head there? I wonder. Can we... Hard to say if the actual light is coming through his eyes, given I've got some other lights on. The light is definitely on because I can see it in the bottom of his chest here, but still, the detailing on his head is quite nice, as well as the pre-paint on the entire faceplate. So in terms of articulation, now Cliffjumper should be easy compared to Jazz and Acid Storm. Full 360 there with his head, full 360 there with the arms at the shoulder joints. Because of the joint system, you will get a little bit of shrugging there as well, which is always cool. So the arm will go out all the way that way. You'll get a 90-degree bend there at the elbow. It will only go forward, won't go back. There will be the rotation here at the top of the elbow, and the rotation here at the ball socket as well. Well, it's not even a ball socket, it's just a pin actually. Actually, no, it is a ball socket. It is a ball socket, sorry. It is a ball socket here at the wrist as well. So from an arm perspective, it's actually a decent array of movement there at the arm, elbow, and wrist. Now, going back to the head ever so quickly, because it does do 360 and is a ball socket, you also will have your panning up and down, etc. with the head, aka the head tilt. As for the body, so there will be no ab crunching in these particular figures, but he will be able to do a full 360 there at the waist. As for the legs, you can do it full splits without any problem at all. Leg will go so far back, leg will go so far forward. Standard knee bend, so we'll go all the way that far back and then reset that way at the front. There will be rotation here just above the knee joint. There will be 360 here at the ankle. Just bear in mind, just because of the way that the foot sits within the lower leg recess, you are liable to pop that foot out. But because it is a ball socket, there will be, you know, a lot of this pivoting, rotation, tilting, etc. at the ankle. So overall, Cliffjumper has some, well, the entire line so far has some good range of articulation, and Cliffjumper being Cliffjumper, it's probably easier to use some of his because he doesn't have things like backpack, things at the side of his head, etc. So it's always good to be able to use some of that articulation quite freely. It's just unfortunate because of that giant weapon. It'll be harder to make use of some of that articulation just because of the size. But definitely can't complain. So we'll quickly put Cliffjumper back on his base. So there he is back on his base, and if I can just quickly bring the others in. So there we go, collection of Acid Storm, Jazz and Cliffjumper. It does look like Cliffjumper will be a little bit shorter than Jazz, which I guess to be expected, although to be honest I doubt these are in correct scaling, given Cliffjumper was a bit of a mini bot, so he should actually be smaller than the others. But Acid Storm is definitely quite imposing there with his particular height. At some point in time I'll probably need to start detaching some of these because yeah, with 3 more figures I definitely can't. Well, I could keep lining them alongside, but it might be easier to separate them a bit more. Maybe the Decepticons, the Autobots possibly. But there you go. So that's pretty much the 3 as it stands so far. So just detaching. You know what? How about I just detach Cliffjumper? Like physically detach. Jazz, you can go over there. Okay, so general thoughts on Cliffjumper. So in terms of the articulation, as I mentioned already, because he has no things floating to his back or to the side of his head, or like any really large shoulder pauldrons, his articulation does feel pretty good, like everything can move around quite freely. Because the collection is at this particular scale, it's unfortunate there's no ab crunch, so you can only really do things that will work with the ball socket joints. So a lot of the upper legs will have to come into play, the rotation here at the mid legs, the ankle feet rotation, etc. So for what you get, I mean, it's definitely pretty good, but there is limitations. So if you want something with a bit more articulation, you would have to obviously look elsewhere. The classic glass being a good example, but obviously Cliffjumper is not part of that range. So overall, for what you get, the price point, etc., like I'm quite happy with it. I mean, the build was quite easy and straightforward to put together. I'm finally starting to get used to some of that, the generic build concept. Look and feel wise, he is pretty good. The pre-paint is solid and on top, so overall I can't complain too much at all. So overall, Cliffjumper is going to be a very nice addition to the collection. Okay, so in terms of everything, I'm going to leave everything there. So how about we just do that with you, Cliff? So thank you very much for watching this combined unboxing, time lapse and review of of the Shining Version Collection 01 Cliffjumper. 3 done, 3 more to go. So in terms of the 3 remaining, it will definitely be Ratchet, Prime and Megatron. In which order, the next 3 weeks will pretty much decide. Good thing about blind boxes, you don't know who you have until you open it. Feel free to do the usual like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the content. It does help support the channel. I do appreciate it. Extra content can also be found on my Instagram and the community tab, which conveniently enough is very Blokees Transformers centric at this point in time, as I try and basically go through the steps to finish off the classic class that I currently have. The remaining two, Blitzwing and Sentinel Prime, I think will be released sometime next month, at least within domestic Australia. Otherwise, I think you can get them online, just might be a little bit harder. With that being said, stay safe and take care, and I will catch you all in next week's video, which will be, the 4th blind box of the 6 from the 01 Shining Rollout Collection, or something else on the channel. See ya.